Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So we would like to start this video off first by saying thank you. We are close to 50 subscribers now, which was sort of a little bit of a shock. Only the other day we were at 40 and we've now made it up to 47. So for the 47 people out there who have wanted to grace us with your presence and be part of this little journey of ours, again, thank you. We really do appreciate it. We know that there's a lot of content out there, and the fact that you found what we've done so far worthy of your time, it's very humbling, and we greatly do appreciate spending that time with us. So again, thank you. We also wanted to say thank you for putting up with us as we have sort of learned the ropes of this whole YouTube's thing. I know that one of the big problems I have is I speak too fast, and I have really tried to learn how to slow down and communicate better. That's one thing that I've been working on. We've been slowly investing money into better hardware. Hopefully we're getting close to figuring these mics out. I know that we just got these in our previous videos that we just did. The mics were a little bit turned up too high, picking up a lot of background noise. So we've been slowly working on figuring out how to improve the quality of what we're putting out. And again, just a general thank you for joining us on this journey, and an acknowledgement that we really do appreciate your time and effort. So today's video is a little bit of a shop tour, for lack of a better word, showing you some of the changes that have been going on here. We have been cleaning out the basement, got rid of a lot of stuff, sold off a lot of stuff, trying to make space down here to make my woodworking area something legit and real. So it's getting better slowly. I'll give you a quick, short tour of what things look like now. Some of the plans that we've got coming up that you'll see in some additional videos. And then we'll jump into today's project, which is another pen. So far, when it comes to wood turning, pens I can do. I'm sort of still learning a lot of the other stuff. So hopefully I'll have some better items and things coming up in the future here. But today we're going to do a pen. This is going to be an American flag themed ink pen for a family member of the wife's. He was a military branch. I'm thinking he was Air Force, if I remember correctly. He was a Vietnam veteran. He made it back from there. He has had health issues recently, and he currently has an LVAD device, which is a left ventricular assist device. Well, so long story short, when your heart starts to give out and you don't really qualify to have a heart transplant, basically this is, it's not an artificial heart, but it's kind of one step down. It's basically a device that helps pump your heart for you just to help yours along. So it is one of those things that he's been living now for over a year with that. And it's been a lot of tough trials getting through that process. But this is basically a little thank you for his military service with Memorial Day holiday coming up and everything. And scratch that, I don't want to call it Memorial Day holiday. It's a shame that we sort of tie in Memorial Day and holiday together. Memorial Day is not a holiday. It's a day to take off, to reflect, and to remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for what we have here in our country. So, like I say, I sort of hate that we even call it a holiday. It sort of, in a lot of ways, has lost a lot of its meaning, and I probably shouldn't have even used those words. But basically, to create something for him, I wanted to make an American flag style pen. This was a pen blank picked up from Woodcraft that it's already made. It's basically designed already in the American flag shape. So hopefully one day I can start creating my own, but for now this is just another one from Woodcraft that we are going to try to put together. So here is a quick tour, and then we will jump into that project. Okay, I'll go ahead and make the wife cringe. She and I actually kind of both hate this, but in this case it's going to be a lot easier We sort of hate shaky cam. So I'm going to give you just sort of a quick roundabout with the camera here. So I've been working on making this area usable. Right now it is very cluttered, but before it was just everything was in the way and you just about kill yourself. So I've worked on getting everything kind of against the wall. So the majority of the tools that are used the most often, the bandsaw, planer, router, jointer, dust collector, shop vac, drill press, miter saw, and the table saw are kind of now all against the wall. We've got our wood bench, and this is the second one that we bought. So after the first bench that we put together, we actually picked up this second one. That way the wife has hers and I have mine, and never the twain shall meet. Again, this is something else we're hoping to get a video comparing these two, that they are built differently, and we hope to have this out soon. And I still need to get some organization going to get all the stuff off the bench. But for now, this is the setup that we've got over here on the wood side. In addition to that, the basement is now a lot cleaner than it has been. And we've got over here on this side the actual lathe and the little workbench for it. Still organizing a whole bunch of things over here. So a lot of progress has been made. There is still a lot left to do, but she's getting there. Okay, and there is a quick tour of what the shop looks like. So in a second here, we will get into the actual pen making project. One additional thing with the conversation earlier about Memorial Day, my father was also a veteran. He made it back from Vietnam. His body did. His mind, unfortunately, didn't really make it back. He was a tunnel rat in Vietnam. He was in charge of clearing out the tunnels. And during one of his clearing missions, they had a booby trap, and he was buried alive with the rest of his team. I'm not sure how many people there were. He was the only survivor of the initial explosion, as we understand it. And he was buried alive for, I believe it was a day or two before they managed to get him completely pulled back out. And after that, he was never the same. Again, his body made it back from Vietnam, but his mind never really did. Not too long after he came back, him and my mother separated. And, there was just a lot of turmoil. So one of the things that we support is, I don't know if any of you recognize the shirt, "Always Keep Fighting." If you are a fan of the show Supernatural, then you will probably know what this is. If you're a real fan, then you're more likely to. Basically, the two main characters, Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, one group that Jared put out, and this is basically sort of his thing, the Always Keep Fighting is a campaign of his. It was a shirt campaign to raise money, and really it sort of revolves around sort of depression, suicide prevention, and things like that. And that was sort of the reason for us purchasing this shirt. So during times like this, it is always good to think about all of those out there who may be struggling and fighting a lot of these type of issues. In today's world, with the technology that we've got, you're constantly being bombarded with so much information. It can become overwhelming. And just keep everyone in your prayers, or if that's not your thing, just your well wishes. And always remember that there are a lot of people out there who are struggling. The next time you bump into someone walking down the street and you just want to yell at them, just remember you don't know what they're going through that day. And they could be someone like my father who was barely holding on. So, with that said, let's get into this project. Okay, that didn't go as planned. Pretty much what had to have happened is my bit snagged. This is a very brittle acrylic, and when the bit snagged, it took a chunk out. It's not really salvageable. The chunk, well, I can't even bind it, to be honest. And even if I did, gluing it back in would probably not work out very well. So at this point, I'm going to write this project off and probably pick up another one and try again. I don't have one here, so I'll have to go out and buy another one. But one thing I was thinking about as I was doing this, it was sort of tempting to just get angry and cuss and fuss about something like this. And then I realized just how much it sort of ties into the conversation that we had earlier. If this is the biggest problem that I have to deal with today, then I'm pretty much a blessed and lucky man. There are a lot of people out there who are going through a lot of struggles, and I'm above ground. The number one thing that you have to worry with day in and day out, I have successfully beat. I woke up this morning. There are a lot of people out there who are not so lucky. A lot of men and women in our military who are not so lucky. Their family members may or may not come home today. And the reason they do that is so that I have the freedom to stand down here and do this and get angry because of a chunk breaking out of my pen blank. So today, as you're sitting here watching this video, just try to remember that a lot of people out there, a lot of families have given up, in some cases, everything to protect and look after all the rest of us. And a lot of those people, when they come back home, have a lot of struggles. They battle with a lot of depression, a lot of suicidal thoughts. So again, next time you're walking down the street and you see someone who's just maybe not having a good day, before you start getting angry with them, remember that that may very well be someone who, like my father, had their body make it home from war, but not their mind. So try to give your fellow man and woman out there a little more leeway. And think about all the struggles that those people may be going through in their own lives that you are blessed to not have to be going through. And if you are struggling, remember there is help out there. When my father came back from the war, there really was no help. It was called, suck it up, man up, go home. There weren't the resources that you have today. So please, if you are battling with depression or any suicidal thoughts, reach out for help. Don't become the next statistic. Seek help and find a way to make it back to as close as you can get to normal. And I know I can sit here and say that. I wasn't in the military. I haven't seen the things that they've seen. And in a lot of ways, I have no right to tell other people to go ahead and seek help. But please, for your own safety and your own families, go out there and seek help. I also said that I would never go out and beg for likes and shares and all that stuff. But if for any reason any of the content that was here today is something that you feel someone out there may need to hear, then by all means, please share this with them. I want a lot of people to know that while it may seem like you're alone, there are a lot of us out there who truly do appreciate what you've gone through and understand the sacrifices that you've made. And I wanted to just relay that some of us, while we may not show it, we do truly appreciate the sacrifices that you have done. And with that, I will put my emotions back in and we will get out of here. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.